Hey everyone, how are you? Happy Monday. Welcome back to my channel. This is Meaningful Intuitive Guided Tarot. I hope everyone's Monday has been off to a good start. I am back as I promised, as I came in yesterday evening to give a shout out for 3 subscribers' requests. And so this is what has brought me back, as I kept my word that I will be performing 3 subscribers' requests on this Monday afternoon. And so the first request that I have honored and will be performing at this time is a request that has come in from subscriber CT, and he requested me to do a reading on V from the pop boy group band BTS. And so, CT, I hope you got to see that shout out reminder that I gave you yesterday night to let you know that, in fact, I would be be doing this reading for you for your viewing, and anyone else, as I know BTS has lots and lots of fans all over the world. So I'm pretty sure, in addition to CT, there will be other viewers of you that will tune in for this reading on V, in particular because this request reading wanted me to answer in terms of his solo album. So we know that he has, or he's in progress. Whether or not it has been finished and released, not too sure. But the question that CT wanted me to address is he wanted to know how is that progress of his solo album coming along, and how will it be received by the public, his fans. Okay, so that is the question that he wanted me to find out pertaining to V. He is so cute, V. He is such a cutie. But anyway, guys, we are going to get into the reading. But just so that you guys will know, if you are wondering, if you happen to notice that I am actually appearing more closer to you as you are closer to me, it is because I did in fact purchase a new ring light, and I'm so glad I did. I'm really loving it, but it will definitely help you guys as I raise up my cards. You will actually get to see it more clearer because you are more closer to me, as opposed to my other ring light that was more away at a distance. And sometimes, if you remembered, I would have a little struggle to try to aim it and adjust it so that you would make out the cards. But with this ring light, which is smaller, but it's definitely more ideal, particularly for this space, then that kind of puts me closer to you guys. Okay, and I'm really loving it. All right, everyone, let's get into this reading. So again, so you guys would know, I wanted to mention the zodiac sign for V. He is a Capricorn, so that makes him an earth sign, and he is 27 years old. And overall, the qualities of Capricorn, they are focused, they are diligent, they are very hardworking, and they are so where they go above and beyond their expectations because they are such diligent, focused, hard workers. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to know what his sign was, so that when his energy pops up into this reading, you would know that that is his energy that has come up. All right, everyone, so I pulled out 6 cards, and then behind that I will clarify the energies and kind of to understand why they came out, and to just kind of clarify is I pulled right after the more the initial cards, because they really do kind of chime in a little bit more to give you a little bit more clearer to understand why did the initiating cards come out. So the first card that have come out pertaining to the question of the progress of his music, we did start out with the King of Swords. Okay, so this is his energy here. We know that by now, you guys know that regardless of what and how the imagery looks, because when you look at this imagery here of this King of Swords, he looks kind of tired, right? Now, in other readings, the King of Swords can mean many things. But for this particular reading, pertaining to V and pertaining to his progress of his solo album, it shows that he is drained. He is tired. When this card came out, I kind of pulled into his energy. He's just so physically drained. It takes a lot when you are working on as a soloist, it does take a lot out of you, because especially if you are coming out of a group where you collaborate with other members, right? It kind of takes a little bit of that hard work, kind of takes the edge off it. But when you are left as your own, coming up and producing your own album with various songs that you are trying to create, and being that you are doing this by yourself, and because no doubt you want it to be your best, you want to produce the best, the aftermath of it and the results can sometimes leave you in this kind of draining energy. So this Nine of Swords, this King of Swords to me is just representing the energy that he is dealing with at this time, right? It can even be maybe some slight challenges, because I feel that, I won't say he is a perfectionist, but I feel that he is working so hard, diligently, to try to produce his best, right? And so when that happens, sometimes you are working hard, and it can leave you very drained out. So this is what I feel right now currently that he is. Now, like I said, if this is something that has already been released, I'm not sure, but let's just say that if he is still currently working on this, that it is leaving him very tired and drained. But because it is leaving him that way, that do not mean that he is not happy and that he's excited about producing this album. Because right next to that, after that King of Swords, we have here the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is very clear. It's very straight to the point in terms of cups representing the water signs, but cups also represents the emotions that you put into something or someone. And so this speaks about his emotions behind his album at this time, building those songs, thinking about what it is and what he wants to put into that album. But he's very happy. He is overjoyed to start this new album, right? This is a new project that he's working on, his album. So it's bringing him such a joy, and he's very excited at the same time, despite the fact that he is feeling tired and drained, okay? Now, followed by that, we have here the Queen of Wands. Now, you should know by now in tarot, there's no specific gender. It's just all about the energy. So when you really look at this Queen of Wands, right, and pertaining to him being a masculine, this could very well be like the King of Wands, right? But generally, the energy here just shows that he is very ecstatic. He's very elated. He's excited. This is like the progress. This is like his spirit, the attitude that he is in. He's in this Queen of Wands energy because he's very excited. But also, I pick up that it shows that he's isolating himself. So, not sure if at this time he wants anybody around him while he's in the studio producing. I feel that at this time he is actually really working on this by himself and with no one else around him. I think that he focuses better actually when there is no one there. It could be a friend, it could be maybe other members. I think at this time he's just looking for seclusion to really focus on what it is that he wants to put into this album, because this energy here generally is someone that is excited, but at the same time they are shielding themselves away from the public. They are kind of holding themselves back from being anywhere else but where they want to be, to focus on what it is that they're doing, right? So this just speaks about his focus on that album. Now, followed by that, speaking of that isolation, we have here the Seven of Wands. Let me just turn this down. We have here the Seven of Wands. It's kind of almost just like, if you will, the Queen of Wands, right? They both have similar energies, but they show that they are by themselves, right? Or, like I said, doesn't matter, masculine or feminine, but it's just showing that they are isolated. They are by themselves. So this Seven of Wands is an energy that is, in fact, just like you see here, in a bubble, which means that he is in isolation, trying to focus and tune in on the songs that he wants to put into that album, right? Now, followed by that, we have the Chariot. The Chariot is generally and represents a fast-moving energy. But if you notice, there are two horses, right? So when I pick this card up, to me, this is his energy in terms of, even though he's excited, and he's drained out. But at the same time, he's nervous about it, about this album. He's not sure how it's going to turn out, right? So for me, the white represents the positive attitude behind his album, and then we have the black horse, to me represents the negative attitude. So it's almost like he's between thinking, like, questioning to himself, how is this going to turn out? But he is hoping, he's staying hopeful, and he's staying positive that all will be well, and that it's going to be something that is going to pay off. As long as he stay positive and keep a very good overall attitude about it, that it will pay off and that it will go well and that it will be received well, then it will do well, right? It's all about the attitude. But I feel that he is nervous, not knowing how it's going to really turn out or how it's going to be received by his fans, right? And then at the end, his energy now has come up, because remember, he is a Capricorn, making him an earth sign. So we have here the Knight of Pentacles. So I got two different messages. Slow and steady wins, right? Because this is, again, going back to that Chariot. It's like a winning energy because it's driven. So as long as he keep that driven mentality, think positive, and have that ambition to just continue to go, no matter how slow it takes, because the Knight of Pentacles is a slow moving energy. So no matter how long it takes him to achieve to completing that album, it's going to be a win-win situation. Now that's one message. The other message is that with every song that he produced to that album or on that album, it's going to do well. So overall, the energy is indeed one that will lead to success. Okay, now that takes care of the top cards that came out for him. Now let's jump down and clarify these energies. Why did the King of Swords come out? Remember the King of Swords. The King of Swords came out because it kind of represents, despite him being in that, kind of physical drainage, feeling depleted a little bit at times, but he is still focused. No matter how depleted and energy, kind of tapped out he is still thinking about what songs he wants to put in. But the Six of Cups is an energy of things from the past. But it also could be, thinking about things that he went through, or thinking about certain memories, because whatever it is that he went through in the past, I think he is going to use that to put into those songs or put into his album. So, regardless of if it's good memories, not so good memories, I think he's going to just utilize what he's gone through. It could be personal experiences that he's dealing with that he's going to put into that album. But again, speaking of that fire energy and being driven, and him being nervous, we also had the Page of Wands that came out behind the Six of Cups, which shows the wands, we know, signifies that of the fire element. So the Page of Wands is, to me, like an energy of being driven, regardless at a moment that you might feel a little unsure about the success of something or how something's going to turn out. As long as you are holding that passion, and this is a project, this album is in fact also speaking about the passion that he has behind this album. Okay, now let's move over to clarify now the Ace of Cups. Remember the Ace of Cups, we have here the King of Wands, followed by the Four of Wands. So this speaks about a lot of passion. And then overall, we have here the Three of Cups. So how do these clarifiers clarify the energy of the Ace of Cups? Well, again, it shows success. It's kind of looking like everything is all going to pay off. All that hard work, all that, having that positive attitude, it's going to pay off, because we go to the King of Wands. Remember, he was in the Page of Wands. So to go from the Page of Wands to the King of Wands, that shows pretty much that his attitude and passion and being ambitious will pay off. Because the King of Wands, it's almost like an energy that you put the work in, and now you're ready to sit back and see the fruits of your labor. So when he is done, if he hasn't already, Now, if he has completed this album, now he has or is sitting back to enjoy all that hard work. But if it hasn't been out yet and he's almost near the completion of this album, it will show the aftermath that he will sit back to see the success of that album. And how do we know that it's going to be successful? Is because we have the Three of Cups, which speaks about celebration. The Three of Cups is a celebratory kind of energy card. And so this speaks about him celebrating when that album comes out. Okay? Now, we're going to move over now to the next energy of clarifying that Queen of Wands. We have here the Four of Pentacles. If you recall, I mentioned that the Queen of Wands, as well as the Seven of Wands, both of those energies was almost like, remember I said he's in isolation, and that no doubt he wants to just be alone to really focus and tune in and concentrate on what it is, taking his time as to really giving the best, giving him the seclusion that's needed for him to really focus to produce the best that he can for this album. So to clarify that, we have the Four of Pentacles. This is his energy because Pentacles represents the earth element, him being a Capricorn. So it shows that he's holding himself back. But it also is just him holding himself back from the public, from friends, and from family at this time, right? Now, to move over to clarify now the Seven of Wands, we have here the Strength card. So this kind of goes back to that first card of the King of Swords with the Strength. So remember, I felt and picked up a very draining energy about him, feeling very physically tired, despite the fact that he's happy. But it's a lot of hard work that goes into coming up and putting together an album, right? Generally, an album composes of about how many songs? Anywhere from 8 to 10 songs, I do believe, for the most part, right? But it takes time to really produce those songs to come into, complete a full album. So the Strength card here just lets me know that he is really just pulling all what he's got, right? He's just pulling in his strength. He is just staying on top. And it's almost like if he's not finished, I get the feeling that he's almost there. It's like a little bit more, but I'm close to the finish line, right? And he's going to get through this, right? Now, as we move over to clarify that Chariot, we have here the Nine of Swords. So remember earlier when I mentioned about that, I feel that I pick up a nervous type of energy of not knowing how it's going to do. He's not sure how his album going to do and how it's going to be received, right, by his fans. So there's a nervousness. And so for me, the Nine of Swords in certain readings can mean different things, right? But for this particular reading, this scenario, it speaks to me, I am more focused on the blindfold at this time, more than this part. I'm tuning in on the blindfold. To me, this is like an energy of not seeing something, not seeing how it's going to come out, what the result is going to be, right? But at the same time, even though you're not sure, it's like you're still being hopeful, still being positive to keep your vibrations and your attitude about how it's going to come out very positive, right? And so that's what I feel, that he is nervous, not knowing and seeing what it's going to be and how it's going to turn out, but he is being very positive about it. Now, as we close out to clarify that Knight of Pentacles, we have here the Four of Cups along with the Page of Cups. So overall, this just pretty much just sums it up, just saying that with him being unsure about how it's going to be received, well, we have here the Page of Cups, which means an offer. But it almost is showing that it's going to be filled. Whatever cups, whatever attitude, whatever indecisiveness or whatever type of uncertainty that he has pertaining to that album, it's going to go well, because the Page of Cups is like something that is being offered, but it's also something that you receive, which means ultimately that what you think wasn't going to do well, it's giving you that energy of success and that all will be well. As I mentioned earlier, it's going to be a win-win situation for him. All right. So again, to address your answers in terms of how is the progress, it's going well, even though there's been a little, tiredness involved and maybe, some challenges, but it's going well. And if it has already been released, his album, then you should already know that perhaps that album did do well. And then overall, how it was going to be received by his fans, it's going to be received very well. They're going to like his music. All right. So CT, I hope I addressed your issues. Not issues. Oh boy. Look, I'm sorry. Not issues. I hope I addressed your questions pertaining to V and his solo album. And it looks all good. So you know what to do. If you did like this reading, drop me your feedback and your comment and let me know what you think. And anyone else who tuned in and would like to drop their feedback or comments pertaining to this reading, let me know. Until the next subscribers request, which is coming up momentarily, you guys have a wonderful Monday evening. Peace, love, and light. Bye.